Ever sit in your car feeling like you're being slow roasted even with the AC on full blast? You're not alone. 94% of drivers don't know their AC has a secret button that can drop cabin temperatures by up to 15 degrees in minutes. I discovered this by accident during a 105-degree heat wave when my mechanic showed me one simple trick that made my weak, lukewarm air conditioner blow ice cold instantly. No parts, no refrigerant, no repair bill. Just one button you already have in your car that changes everything. You've been using your AC wrong this whole time, and it's costing you comfort and gas money. Watch this 8 minutes video to discover the one button that turns your weak AC into an Arctic blast. Hint, it's already on your dashboard. 2. The magic of recirculation, your AC's secret weapon. Look at your dashboard right now. You see that little button with the swirly arrow? That's your car's recirculation button, and it's the difference between suffering in a sweatbox and actually enjoying your drive. Most people completely ignore it. They crank their AC to maximum, point those vents directly at their face, and still wonder why they're sitting in a puddle of their own sweat. I know because I did the exact same thing for years. Here's what's actually happening. Your air conditioner is fighting a losing battle. Every time you start your car on a hot day, your AC system is trying to cool air that's baking at 120, 130, sometimes 140 degrees inside your cabin. It's working hard, pulling that scorching air through the evaporator, cooling it down, and sending it back into your cabin. But then what happens? Your car keeps pulling in more hot air from outside, and your poor AC has to cool all that new hot air too. It's like trying to cool your house with all the windows open. That's where the recirculation button comes in. When you press it, you're telling your car to stop bringing in that furnace-hot outside air. Instead, it creates a closed loop, recycling the air that's already inside your car. Air that your AC has already started cooling. Your system isn't wasting energy cooling brand new hot air anymore. It's taking air that's already somewhat cool and making it even colder, again and again. The results are dramatic. Tests show cars with recirculation activated can drop cabin temperatures up to 15 degrees faster than cars in fresh air mode. Think about that. The exact same AC system working with the exact same refrigerant and components can perform completely differently just by pressing one button. Your AC isn't suddenly generating more cooling power. It's working smarter instead of harder. You'll notice the difference right away when you hit that button. The air coming from your vents suddenly feels denser, crisper, and significantly colder. It's not your imagination. The temperature reading on the actual air coming from your vents can drop by 10 degrees or more within minutes of activating recirculation. That's the difference between air that feels refreshing and air that genuinely cools you down. Timing matters too. Don't wait until you're already sweating and uncomfortable to hit the recirculation button. Press it the second you turn on your AC. Those first few minutes are crucial. Your system is working hardest at the beginning to pull down the temperature, and recirculation gives it the best chance to make real progress against the heat. Now, if you have a newer car, you might not even need to worry about this. Many modern vehicles automatically activate recirculation when you select Max AC. You can check this by watching that button the next time you crank your air. If the light comes on automatically, your car is handling it for you. And even in newer cars, the auto feature sometimes only works in max mode. If you dial back to a medium setting, you might need to reactivate it yourself. The real magic happens when you understand what this button is actually doing. Your AC doesn't suddenly get more powerful. It's the same compressor, same refrigerant, same parts. But by creating that closed cooling loop in your cabin, you're letting the system build on its own progress instead of constantly starting over with hot outside air. It's like the difference between filling a bucket that has a hole in the bottom versus one that doesn't leak. So here it is. The secret button that instantly makes your AC feel twice as cold is sitting right there on your dashboard. It's the recirculation button, and it's not actually adding any cooling capacity to your system. It's just making your existing AC work dramatically more efficiently by creating that closed cooling loop. Now that you know how to make your air colder, we need to talk about why that freezing cold air might not be reaching you in the first place. Even the coldest AC can't help you if it's trapped behind a filthy barrier. And there's a simple $10 fix that most drivers completely overlook. 3. The forgotten filter. Why your cold air isn't reaching you. Your AC might be pumping out Arctic-level cold air right now, but you'd never know it if that air is trapped behind a dirty clogged filter. It's like having a powerful garden hose with a kink in it. All that cooling power gets stuck before it ever reaches you. This happens in thousands of cars every summer, and most drivers have no idea. When your AC feels weak, what's the first thing you blame? Most people immediately think they need more refrigerant or have a failing compressor. They picture themselves at the mechanic, wallet already getting lighter. But here's what mechanics don't tell you. The problem is often much simpler and way cheaper to fix. Your cabin air filter might be the real villain in this story. Even the strongest, most efficient AC system in the world can't force cold air through a filter that's packed with months or years of accumulated dust, pollen, leaves, and all the other crud that builds up as you drive. That filter sits directly in the path between your AC's cooling components and the vents that blow into your cabin. When it gets clogged, it creates a barrier that your system simply can't overcome. The restricted airflow is like trying to breathe through a pillow. Your AC is working just as hard, maybe even harder. But the cold air it produces can't flow freely to you and your passengers. You might feel a weak stream of somewhat cool air and assume your AC is dying, when actually it's being strangled by a $10 part that takes minutes to replace. I've seen this firsthand. A buddy of mine complained his AC was broken, so we pulled his cabin filter and what we found was shocking. The filter was so packed with dirt, leaves, and debris that you could barely see the filter material underneath. It was essentially a solid wall of filth, blocking approximately 80% of his potential airflow. No wonder his AC felt weak. Most of the cold air was trapped behind that nasty barrier. The fix is ridiculously simple. These filters typically cost between $10 and $20 at any auto parts store. Replacing them is usually a DIY job that takes 5 minutes. Often it's as simple as opening your glove box, removing a plastic cover, and sliding the old filter out and the new one in. Even if you're not mechanically inclined, any shop can swap it during routine maintenance without adding much to your bill. The transformation can feel like you've installed a whole new AC system. Suddenly, that pathetic stream of air transforms into a proper blast of cold. The same exact AC components are working with the same refrigerant. They're just no longer fighting to push air through a clogged filter. It's like finally removing that kink from the garden hose. All that cooling power that was there all along can now flow freely. Car manufacturers aren't secretive about this. They recommend replacing your cabin air filter every 12,000 to 15,000 miles, or at least once a year. But in reality, most drivers go 3, 4, even 5 years without ever changing them. I've talked to people who've owned their cars for a decade and never even knew there was a filter to change. By that point, their filters aren't just dirty, they're geological specimens with distinct layers of accumulation. If your AC feels weak or slow, a dirty filter is likely the culprit. Next time you're at a shop for an oil change, ask them to check your cabin air filter's condition. They'll often try to sell you one as part of their upsell strategy, but in this case, it's actually worth considering, especially if it's been more than a year since your last replacement. The simple truth is that you should replace your cabin air filter every 12,000 to 15,000 miles for maximum cooling performance. It's a $10 to $20 fix that can make your AC blow like new again. Combined with using your recirculation button, you've now unlocked your AC's full potential without spending hundreds at the shop on repairs you didn't actually need. These two simple fixes work together in perfect harmony. The recirculation button ensures your AC is cooling already chilled air for maximum temperature drop, while the clean filter ensures all that wonderfully cold air actually reaches you instead of getting trapped in the system. Together, they can make your AC feel twice as powerful without changing a single mechanical component or adding an ounce of refrigerant. What we've got here is the perfect 1-2 punch for your car's AC. That clean filter lets all that cold air actually reach you, while the recirculation button makes that air dramatically colder with each pass through your system. Together, they create that powerhouse cooling you've been missing all along. The best part? You don't need to drop hundreds of dollars on refrigerant recharges or compressor repairs. Most AC problems come down to these two simple fixes that cost next to nothing. Try these changes on your next drive while the heat is still cranking outside. Your car will transform from a moving sauna into the cool refuge it was meant to be.